I had bipolar and had a nervous breakdown. It ain't a nice thing to do. Some people don't pull through, some people do.
We've discovered that the number of young people being prescribed antipsychotics has rocketed in recent years.
You okay?
Been diagnosed with being bipolar. It's an affective disorder in which the individual alternates between states of deep depression and extreme elation. And it is nothing to be ashamed of, despite what some people might think.
There have been a lot of changes, and TV dramas evolved.
There was very little on mental health. It was very concentrated on sensationalism.
Oh, I think there's been a marked change in the way mental health issues are covered by news and current affairs programmes.
I think the statistic is 1 in 4 of us are going to be affected by mental health. And therefore that's 1 in 4 of our viewers.
The fact that people are much more able to talk about mental health issues openly has actually been led by the fact that the media has made it easier to talk about them.
It works because people talk about telly, they talk about their favourite programme, they talk about their favourite character. If last night on the telly they've seen a storyline about mental health, they'll talk about it. And the more people talk about it, the more the stigma diminishes.
Do you think this thing, do you think that it's always been in me? Do you think I've always had it when I was little? Do you think it was just sitting there waiting?
You can't revert to stereotypes. You can't perpetuate stigma if you are writing characters who are three-dimensional.
I'm a manic depressive, and I'm proud, my friend. Some of the greatest geniuses in history have been manic depressives on a manic roll. Vincent van Gogh, Handel, Schumann, Virginia Woolf, Sylvia Plath, Spike Milligan, Vivian Leigh. That is 100% true, folks. And this is for all you manic depressives out there. We are loonies and we are proud.
I do think the big game changer for me was the Stephen Fry documentary. I really think that it gave other people the courage to really open up.
But after a week, I secretly returned to England to this hospital and to a doctor telling me that I was bipolar. I'd never heard the word before, but for the first time, at the age of 37, I had a diagnosis that explained the massive highs and miserable lows I've lived with all my life.
There is something about hearing a person's real story rather than an expert saying it that definitely makes a difference, and that definitely makes a difference with viewers and listeners.
How many times have you been sectioned, Andrew?
I think it's difficult to be clear because, as you can probably imagine, some of the episodes are a little hazy, but I would think at least 4 or 5 times.
I don't think that there's any problem at all about making television which is exciting and entertaining and fast and even action-packed, whilst at the same time dealing with mental health in a responsible and proper way.
They have to understand, Saul. This year's movements in green, after fallow yellow, always creeping towards purple, are methodical, meaningful, momentous, and nonsense.
Okay, I'm going to get you a bit more Ativan to settle you down.
I think television is more willing to approach mental health issues rather than tackle them head-on. Personally, I'm much more in favour of us having them involved in all aspects of programme making and television.
Winning a Mind Award gives you a sense of achievement, that, yeah, you're doing good.
Is trichotillomania. Firstly, what is trichotillomania, or it's called TRIC for short? It's an impulse control disorder. It has been classified as an obsessive compulsive disorder. Yeah.
These are subjects that if you tell your story well and you make it emotionally connected and you make it feel like a much more universal subject than perhaps everyone would have liked to believe, then you can actually bring in a big audience.
It allows people to open up, ask for help, which I think is the most important quality you can have.
The world would be a very sad and depleted space if the media wars weren't around.